Okay, who's there? Can you hear me? Whoever's there, type a message to me. I'm just testing this to see if this will work. Can you hear me? Okay, shut up. What is that? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can somebody respond and tell me if you can hear me? I'm trying to use these microphone things. Hi guys. Choose how to go live. Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't need any of this crap. Hi guys, I'm testing out my ability from the beach to be, hello Con, can you hear me? I'm talking over here. Can you just let me know if you can hear me? I'm testing this out to see if this will work. Yes, you hear me. Okay, great. I'm gonna walk outside. I just want you to tell me if you can hear me when I walk outside. So, let me know if you can still hear me from over here. Please write in a comment, yes, I can hear you from outside. Yes. Hi, Deb. How you doing? So my friends in New York City who, you can hear me fine, great. My friends in New York City who I've been teaching yoga to for 12 years have asked me if, faintly, oh, so you didn't hear me very well when I walked outside, Con? I wonder if there is some way I can, nope. Hi, everybody. I love you. I'm trying to, this is just a technical run through to see if I can do a live video so people can hear me so I can like teach classes not too well when I went outside. Hey, Aaron, what does this do? This invites friends to watch. Thank you, Facebook. You're super fun. We got messages. We got flashes. So yeah, I wanted to see if I could do a video that I could have my whole body for teaching yoga or qigong, which is not, this is not the way. This is just me testing at this certain hour of the evening, unless anybody has any specific questions, but I can't hear anybody. I can only read little things. I haven't done a Facebook Live video in years. I'm in Mexico right now. It's night, so I can't show you the view, but of course if you go to my page, you can see the pictures I've been posting, which is the view outside my room, but my room is this little cement box on a hillside with a window. Hi, guys. Yeah, so like everybody else in the world, I'm trying to figure out how to make some kind of income. And I've been teaching qigong on the beach to these hippie kids that showed up from Europe who are fleeing that situation. And the beach town that I'm staying in right now has just gone into lockdown. Everything takes time to get to its place, and they're not letting anybody enter the town now, so it's all barricaded, and a lot of the places are barricaded. So it's very interesting that a whole bunch of people are signing on. It'll be more interesting if I do this during the day, because then I can show people where I am, and it is very beautiful, problematic. But I need to make sure that these silly Bluetooth things work, because I guess I'll just test it out in the morning. If I walk, I guess I'll ask again. So I'm gonna walk outside, and I want you to tell me if you can hear my voice or if it's just too noisy or if I'm gone. So when I walk up here, wait, the phone's picking up my voice now. I'm walking back into the room. Could you guys hear me when I was out of the room? Nope, can't hear you. Okay, thank you, Patrick. That's what I needed to know. Then I'll probably have to do another way, but I just thought I would try it. You were not able to. Thank you, Con. All right, well, thank you for all your replies. I'll take these stupid things out of my ears then. And, oh, hi, Urso. Oh. It's nice to see all of you for a moment. I don't really have anything super important to say. I haven't been blogging very much because I don't know what the fuck to say in the world right now besides like, hey, sorry this is happening. I guess it's part of Mother Nature balancing and our inability to have prepared for it enough, I guess. But it's okay because it's what's happening, so we're all just doing the best we can. Nobody's situation is necessarily better than anyone else's. We all got our situation going on. But I'm super grateful that when this shit hit the fan, I was on a beach town, so at least I can walk outside during the day and there's ocean. But I'm very alone here, so that's kind of a bummer. I guess we're all very alone right now, but some of us are with family and partners and friends and stuff, so that's nice. I haven't seen you in many, many, many years, Moshe Ben Shiverwood. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's true, Urso. The population's very different and the healthcare systems are very different. And if none of you have read Love in the Time of Cholera, it's a good read at this point because the writing is beautiful and the expression of human nature is very wise and gorgeous. And the expression of what people think is love is also very wise and gorgeous. And the understanding that humans go through pandemics all the time is it's somewhat comforting, maybe. Anyway, I don't have anything important to say. This was just a test, and nice to see that. That's also part of the test. Is the internet is really terrible here, so it just dropped signal. And I'm sure it would do that a lot, but my yoga friends were asking if I could teach a class because I haven't been jumping on that bandwagon of Zoom and all that stuff because the internet here is just so terrible. But at least the view is nice. And there's lots of fresh fruit, as long as that lasts. So unless anybody has any specific questions to elicit me telling any stories, I will sign off. Because this was really just a test. And I'm doing okay. Not perfect, because no one is. I definitely have moments of panic and insanity and all the other emotions. But fortunately, I have lots of tools so I can sit and meditate and do Qigong and not feel so psychotic. Just chill out. You mostly want to know what I've been up to in the last year or so, so I'll tell that story really quickly. Last year, I started the year in New York City. I was planning to go to Florida and spend the winter in Florida with some friends of mine who have an exotic animal farm where they raise cassowaries, raise and breed cassowaries, which are very dangerous dinosaur-type birds. Kind of like the size of ostriches, except more like velociraptors. And a split-second decision, I was meditating one morning and I decided I needed to get training. I needed to focus on learning things. And so I decided to go to Thailand for a month-long retreat with a Qigong teacher that I like named Montauk Chia, who teaches sexual Qigong and emotional Qigong and a whole bunch of cosmic shit that's kind of hard to put into words. But I stayed there for a month, and then I went to Laos, or Lao, to study Thai massage for a month, which was very nice. And then I went to Cambodia for a month, where I did some tourism. I saw Angkor Wat, spent 2 weeks traveling around the Angkor ruins, and then I went to a small island where I had dysentery for a while and relaxed on the beach, which I had never done before, and I thought that might be not my thing. But it turned out that laying in a hammock most of the day and swimming in the sea was actually pretty nice. I then went from there back to Thailand and did a 10-day silent meditation retreat, and then went to another island where I pretty much just did Qigong and meditation for 3 hours every morning, and met a really interesting healer/prostitute from New York on the beach, a girl, and we became very good friends. Watching Tiger King. Oh, I don't know anything about Tiger King. I've heard a couple people reference that all the people there are horrible. Watching Tiger brings up some unfortunate connotations. So part of that, seeing that you asked this, Urso, while I was in Laos last year doing the Thai massage retreat, there was a Chinese amusement park that had been built right next to the land I was doing the retreat on, because it's next to a huge waterfall that a lot of Chinese people like to come and visit. And the Chinese retreat, it was like a water park. It was an amusement park, had been built, but then they never opened it. Like right before they opened it, they decided to not finish it, and it's just like this falling apart water park with amazing amounts of money went into it, and it's just abandoned. They also bought a bunch of animals for the amusement park, like tigers, Bengal tigers, and sun bears that were just left locked up in cages. They were hiring Laotian people to take care of the tigers, and they had ibex, like those antelope things with the really long horns. So they had some ibex there. Yeah. Well, yeah, sex worker. Yeah, I mean, you can call sex workers all sorts of things, like courtesans, or whores, or prostitutes, or all sorts of things. I mean, she whatever. She's there actually, sex work can entail a whole bunch of things. Prostitution is a very specific aspect of it, or maybe I don't know what you'd want to call it, but I mean, I'm a sex worker, or have been, and you can be a sex worker that isn't doing anything with actual sexual energy. I know tantrikers in Europe that don't ever touch anybody's dick, and they interact with their sexual energy just by sitting with them and being sexually authentic with them without actually interacting physically. And there's lots of ways you can be a sex worker. Anyway, back to answering Urso's question. I spent 4 months in Southeast Asia, and then I came back to America and spent about 4 months in the Northeast, making some money in New York City, refilling the coffers, teaching some Qigong classes with Montauk Chia, who is teaching there. I love you, thank you. And then I left the city and kind of stayed alone at a friend's house up in the mountains for a few weeks. And then I went to a Tai Chi Qigong festival thing that was in New Jersey, and then rode with a friend of mine. We did a road trip up the eastern seaboard, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Maine, and back through to Vermont, where I camped at a nude swimming area for a couple weeks and visited some other friends. So it was about 4 months in the Northeast. Then I spent the last 4 months of 2019 in Indiana, in Indiana and Michigan mostly, with a little bit of time in Kentucky and Tennessee and Ohio. But it was more like an experiment of, could I be in the Midwest and not hate it? Because I've been doing a lot of meditation retreats in recent years, and I have changed my valuing of hating. As a teenager, I was somebody who really hated a lot of things, as a lot of teenagers do, maybe. And I really hated growing up in Indiana, and I really hated my life there for whatever reasons. And when I decided to go spend time with my family, it was like, can I be with them and appreciate them for who they are without needing to change them, without being triggered by them, without falling into old patterns, and without hating being there. And I'm happy to say that although I was triggered a tiny bit by them and by the environment, for the most part I didn't feed it, I didn't give into it, I didn't generate hate, and I mostly enjoyed my time there. It'd be nice if you came back and were here with us, and I thought, well, I wouldn't want to be a disease vector, and I don't know how I would feel about being there without a sense of going somewhere next, because we're in a time, again, as I was kind of saying earlier, that as a world traveler, which is mostly how I've lived, I have often commented to people that we live in a rare window in history where anyone who wants to can get on an airplane and go anywhere they want, and it's mostly very inexpensive. It's mostly available to anybody. You can just get on a plane and go anywhere you want. People think it's very expensive, and I told them it cost me $130 to get down to Mexico. It's very cheap. But that world may have passed away. That window may have closed. We don't know how things are going to turn out, you know. Thank you, guys. It's nice to see you as well, Jim. Yeah. Hi, Tony. I didn't intend actually to do a live feed talking. I was just testing to see if the little Bluetooth things would work, and they don't. So I was hoping I could maybe teach classes on here. But if I, it'd be cool if I could teach classes on here down by the beach. Somebody in my Yoga Buds group was saying like, oh, that'd be so great if you could teach yoga on the beach and zoom and, project that into our room. I would totally pay for that. And I was like, oh yeah, we all need to figure out how to make money because I can't do massage when everybody's afraid of being close to people. But the Bluetooth headphones don't interact with Facebook Live, so I can't do that. But they did work. I'm in Mexico, Jim. I'm in southern Mexico in Oaxaca, in a nude beach town. Although I couldn't do nude yoga on Facebook because that would violate their community standards. The Bluetooth headphones don't interact with the Facebook Live, so you wouldn't be able to hear me. You'd just hear the ocean. And you could probably hear the ocean right now, right? Can anybody hear the ocean coming in through my door, through my window? Also, this is using up my very limited minutes, or my limited gigabytes. Yes, you hear the ocean, great. You live in LA, Jim, you can hear the ocean anytime. We're on the same coast. I could be naked right now, but I just put on a wrap so I wouldn't get in trouble. Pretty much for the last 6 weeks, I don't need to wear clothes or shoes or anything. I just put a fucking sarong on and go for a walk. Much love, thank you. Thank you. But that was my story, Urso. I wasn't sure if I was going to come here, but after being in Cambodia, I felt like, Cambodia had amazing ancient civilization, the ruins of ancient civilizations, and I thought they're very similar to what I had seen pictures of Mayan ruins like Chichen Itza, and I thought Mexico is so close to America, and I've never gone and traveled down there and seen the ancient history here. There's a lot of black magic about Americans against Mexicans. I grew up with it. I've heard it my whole life. Obviously, we have a president who's made a really big deal about that black magic, that propaganda about how everybody in Mexico's dirty and they're thieves and they're horrible and drug dealers, and that's true. But it's true everywhere in the world. So you understood came to mind a few years ago. Hi, Jim. So I kind of came down here not only to see the ancient history and the ancient sites of the Mayans and the Zapotec and the Mexicana and the others that we don't even know the names of, like who built Teotihuacan. But I just wanted to kind of dispel the fear and negativity that I had unconsciously absorbed growing up in the United States against Mexicans and Mexico itself. Mexico I found to be beautiful and generous and kind, and they do have a different sense of sanitation than we do, but we are excessive about that, and all of our excessive sanitation hasn't protected us from a plague, so we do what we can. And Mexico, I guess it has its drug problems and its corruption problems, but then so does everywhere. But I've been very grateful to have had this time. I do feel the fear. I haven't had anything stolen from me, but people say like, oh yeah, if you put anything down, somebody's gonna walk off with it, and because this beach has been closed and it's like so many places, a place that depends on tourism to survive. As the tourists dry up, the white people that are here, the tourists that are here, will be more likely to have stuff stolen from them. So, I've specifically taken my passport and hidden it somewhere outside of my room. So if somebody does break into my room, because it's really just like a padlock on a door, you could break it so easily. If somebody did break into my room, then at least I could still fly home without having to go to an embassy and get all that shit, remade, which I've had to do in my travels. I don't have unlimited data here. The Wi-Fi is terrible. The signal doesn't usually last this long, so I'm really surprised that the signal has maintained. I don't know how long I've been doing this talk, but I was also video chatting with some friends earlier. And although I have infinite access to Facebook, just looking at it, I think using these video features are costing me gigabytes, which I only get 6 gigabytes a month on the plan here. So I can't really do this much longer. But for 21 minutes, thank you, Vic. You're awesome. Best of the U.S. whenever your travels take you. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I haven't, I've seen the people here have been, again, very kind, and I haven't felt any real fear. I've just felt imaginary fear, and there's so many imaginary fears going around right now. I mean, real and imaginary, but I mean, there's far more imaginary fear going on. I don't have a fundraiser site, Jim, but I do have a website that I've set up that's just dominicvine.com, and it has links to all of the digital ways that I can be paid, like Venmo and Cash App and Zelle and PayPal and Apple Pay and Facebook Messenger and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, Josh, I would be, I'm traveling all the time, Josh. You can always just ask me, be like, come here and spend some time with me and teach me some Qigong and tell me stories and cook for me and let's have some tea and let's go for a walk in the woods. That's all I want from life, is people to say, come here and spend some time with me and let's go for a walk and talk and teach me things, because I like teaching. It just makes me feel good. Fortunately, as I probably said at the beginning of this, these 2 European hippies have shown up here in the last few days right before the town closed, and they were very interested in me teaching Qigong. So every morning we've been waking up at dawn, watching the sunrise, and then doing Qigong for 2 or 3 hours, which has been really great. But that's one of the reasons I'm a little crispy today, because after we finished our Qigong, I wanted to just do some solo practice, and I stayed out in the sun on the beach. And even though I've been here 6 weeks, I'm Polish and Irish, a little bit Sicilian, but I'm pretty pale, and the sun here is really intense. Like at the midday, it just walking outside of my room, it like hurts me. Thank you, Vic. Yeah, anybody who wants to donate would be awesome. Small amounts are totally fine. Like all of us, like many of us whose jobs have suddenly evaporated, I can't give massage in the current environment. So if anybody wants, that'd be great. Thank you, Charlie. Yes. And Charlie knows a lot about being naked in the woods. It'd be lovely to spend some time with you. Yeah. It's so nice to see all these people. I've been feeling so isolated. I mean, we're all feeling isolated, but I'm, on the edge of the earth in Mexico, and it's been very nice here. I'm not complaining. It's so nice to be able to walk naked on a beach every day. But it's nice to feel appreciated by you people who have been tuning in and sending lots of endless hearts. So much love to you. I can do story time. Maybe I'll do story time on Facebook Live for a while. Again, there's this package I can get through this weird cell phone company I have that if I pay 15 pesos, I get unlimited data for 2 hours. So I will I'll try to do that and just tell some stories. You can ask me stories. You can, if anybody watches this video and after I've stopped it and you're like, oh, I want to hear Dominic tell a story about anything, because Dominic's an open book. He likes to tell stories. I can do video chat telling stories. I did a project a few years ago on my YouTube, if you want to go look at my YouTube, where I was telling some stories about my interactions with etheric realms, which now are just integrated into my everyday life. But when they first happened as a teenager and a 20-year-old, I was like, wow, it's like I can feel another world. Now I just live in lots of different worlds. Ciao, Antonio. I hope, how do I say that? Spero ando e buono in Sicilia. No preoccupado, no. This gigantic stink bug is on the floor. He's like this huge black shovel-shaped stink bug. It's pretty amazing. I'm not usually looking at my floor at this hour. Yeah. I just have to turn it on and pay with my credit card, 15 pesos. So, I don't know. Are we done for now? Does anybody want to hear any more stories right now, or should I just disconnect and talk with you later when the sun is out, and then you can see the pretty surrounding a little bit better? Can I turn the camera around on here? Yeah. That's not interesting, but I can do that in the daylight. So in the daylight, I'll do another Facebook Live maybe tomorrow. I'll do another Facebook Live, and it'll be prettier to be able to show people things. No, Jim, this is the first time I've gone live. I was under the impression that the internet here was so bad I couldn't do video, and it apparently is working fine. So apparently I was functioning under a false sense of truth, which I guess a lot of us are all the time. But yeah, the internet here is really slow. The Wi-Fi here is atrocious. And very often, like yesterday or the last 2 days, I tried to call people in America, and we could talk for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then it would disappear. So, okay, I'll talk with you guys tomorrow when it's light. And thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate my presence. Much love to you. Good night. I hope you all sleep well. Yes, I can always tell some more stories about that too. Love and rest well to you. Thanks.